Hey, Charger Central back again to talk the latest Charger news. Jason and Levon here. How's it going, Levon?
Going good. How are you?
Good, good. So we're coming off the home loss at Sofi to the Commanders. Tough loss. Herbert got hit a lot. Bad penalties. Strange execution by the players and the coaching staff. And Amari and Hampton is hurt. Seems like every week someone else is getting injured. So what are your thoughts on that game?
Depressing, to say the least. I mean, it was maybe 60-40 Charger fans that game, but in my section, they were all Washington fans. So just hearing them constantly cheering, and it was annoying. But penalties killed us. That throw that Herbert had to Keenan that got called back, it happened right in front of me. It was an insane throw. I don't know if people noticed how insane it was on TV, but that was an unreal throw to Keenan. Just the way he fit that ball through and all for nothing. So the offensive line, I mean, again, just disastrous. I don't know anymore. You need try out a new center. Anything that can help protect Herbert, because they're just he's gonna keep getting hit. And Daniel Popper had a stat up the other day where right now Herbert's on track to get hit more than Andrew Luck was. And it's like, you really want this guy to retire early because of this? The offensive line needs to get it together. That's how we're going to win games. Otherwise, this season is a wash too. But, hopefully he's back within the next couple of weeks. Hampton hurt, yes. And I keep getting, asked who you take, Vidal or Haskins. My answer is neither. Like, I just don't have faith in either of them to do anything productive with this offensive line, at least. Maybe if Alt is back, it's a different answer, and I'd probably lean Vidal. But right now, neither. I just don't see production from the run game. And it begs the question, are you going to make a trade for an RB? And we'll get into the trade that happened with Gilman, but yeah, just an awful game.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about left tackle. Austin Deculus is not ready. He's letting guys blow by him inside. If you're gonna let a guy get you, at least do it outside. Not. So Herbert's getting blown up. Yeah, taking way too many hits. And with the running backs, I would hope they would get Vidal involved in the passing game, to generate something there, because he does have some juice. We saw that 11-yard run that got him to the 1-yard line, and then they couldn't convert. Batted pass, interception, line not holding up again. Yeah, it's depressing because that's a game, we dominated for the first 20 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a helmet-to-helmet hit on Quentin Johnston. He fumbles the ball. If you're a ref, at least review the play, So, and Keenan got hosed on another. He could have had a touchdown. He was getting held in the end zone. I saw him. I was right next to there. He's screaming at the ref, like,
yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, and nothing. Of course, they don't care. And it's it's the greatest hits of Chargers losses. Injuries, penalties.
Having the lead and blowing it.
Yeah, having the lead, blowing it. 10 men on the field at times. Tyler Conklin not knowing he's supposed to go in the game and then dropping a pass on 4th down that hits him, right at.
That was so frustrating to watch.
Yeah. And you're talking about a guy, Conklin, who before this year was so sure-handed, didn't drop passes, and now he's dropping it. He's off his game. and we got guys who have never been injured before, Hampton and Harris,
Yeah.
with serious injuries now.
Yeah. I mean, it begs the question: when are you going to start integrating Gaston into this offense more? He should be the tight end one. We haven't seen anything from Conklin, and Disley's been out. So when are you going to start integrating him into this offense? Because we need production, and we need Herbert to get the ball out quickly, and he can't if he doesn't have a reliable tight end. So I don't know. We got to see a lot of changes to this offense in particular. Defensively, for the most part, I think they did an okay job. Just not being able to get to Jaden Daniels hurt, obviously. Tooley didn't do anything Sunday, and that's why we made that trade. But Mac hopefully is back in a couple weeks. I mean, the main guys, Henley and Derwin, could have done a better job, but I think they held their own for the most part. But Elijah Molden, it was good to see him out there. I think he did a pretty good job for a first game back from injury. It's a welcoming sign to see him back because he was really good last year before that injury. So he looks sharp and is only going to build on that performance. So defensively, I'm not too concerned. I think, we could have done a better job. But when your offense scores 10 points, not much. You can't do much to win that game. The QJ hit, I agree. I think there was a slow-mo that they showed. What people are saying is that the defender first came with the shoulder and then hit him on the helmet. And I guess that's justified, but still, at least, like you said, review it, in a moment like that, because that shifted the game. After that fumble, the game turned on its head. So you got to clean up all these mistakes before Miami, because this is not a game that you should lose. Tua struggled, and they have no Tyreek now. This is not a game that you should lose. So you got to step up. You got to win. Chiefs lost, which is big for us. You got to take advantage of that. You got to win Sunday, because the following week you play Indianapolis. They're not going to be an easy team to beat. So you got to take advantage of that Week 6 matchup.
Yeah, and going back to the Commanders for a second there, Bill Krosky Merritt, he ate us alive, and I think that was a big reason for the trade too, because he kept bouncing to the edge. I saw that he had 2 touchdowns where he just bounced outside where Caleb Murphy's supposed to be, and had an easy touchdown. So they need someone to set the edge. So hopefully this new guy that we got from the Ravens, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I think it's Odafe Owe.
Odafe Owe?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it looks like he'll be able to set the edge. He'll get some sacks. He had 10 sacks last season. Yeah. So that's going to be huge, especially when we get Mac back, and then we can have a rotation with Thule, those 3 guys.
Yeah.
And that's going to be huge. And then another big mistake in this game was Marlo Wax trying to go for the punt block. He gets the penalty, he runs into the punter's leg, and negates a lad touchdown that energized the crowd. Would have been huge for this, for this team, and wipes it away. So you got to clean up those mistakes. Pipkins, two bad penalties, like you said, the long pass to Keenan. He had another long pass to QJ that got called back because Pipkins, and you can hear the boos rain down from SoFi after the second penalty, and we did a 3 and out. What are you guys
how
doing?
How many years has Pipkins been in this league? It's not like you're a rookie. You got to know these things by now. And it begs the question, it's like, for the coaching staff, how bad are the others that you keep putting the same guys out there every week?
Yeah. Well, if they're Deculus level, we have other issues on the line. Bozeman, there was that play where Herbert yells no to about the changing the protection, and he does it anyway, and the guy just comes clear down the middle and sacks him.
Early on too in the game, Herbert got pissed at the O-line. I was like, okay, they're going to start getting focused now on protecting him, and same story. So I don't blame Herbert at all. for being pissed off. He should be even more pissed than he was, because it's like every play he's being attacked and no response to it. And there are times where, watching in person is a lot different than on TV. There are times where, whether it's Pipkins, most of the time it's Bozeman, those inside guys, there are two attackers coming from the defense, and Bozeman's just covering the air. It's like, what are you doing? It's just mind-boggling that this guy's in the NFL, truly. And how is he a captain? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this line protect Herbert when it was healthy, when it had Alt, when it had Becton fully healthy. He was going in and out of the game, hurt his hand, his fingers. So we need those two guys back. We need Will Dissly back. He's been a huge loss in the blocking area.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get these guys back soon, and Perryman, Denzel Perryman will help in the run game as well.
Definitely. Yeah, we need someone like Troy Dyke's been playing good, but we need a third guy in that middle linebacker room. So Perryman, and also the veteran presence of Perryman, we need. So yeah, I think he'll be a definite boost for that team. And then Matt coming back, hopefully by week 8, even bigger boost. But yeah, to your point, Becton did help Bozeman out a lot, but it's like, when we got him, people were saying he was always injured, and now I see what they're saying. So he's got to really hunker down and stay healthy this late stretch, at least of the season, to be healthy for the playoffs. And yeah, I'm saying playoffs because we're first right now in the AFC West. That hasn't changed. And getting healthier, I think, will only help us in the long run. So if injuries are terrible always, but happening earlier than later is better, because they'll be back for the playoff run.
Yeah. So let's get into this Miami preview here. This is a team that has struggled. What are they? 1-4 right now?
I believe so.
Yeah. So this is a game you got to have right now. I think Charger fans are still very pessimistic because of the way our line has played and all the penalties, and but this is a game you have to win, because Denver is tied with us for first place. We have the tiebreaker. You can't let Kansas City gain ground. They lost to the Jaguars. So this is a team you're supposed to beat. We have to beat them. There's
Yeah.
So what are your keys for this game?
Yeah, no, just to say first, for the division itself, the Broncos play the Jets. I think in London this Sunday should be a win for them. So you cannot lose this game against the Dolphins. The Chiefs are getting Rashee Rice back next week. And I'm not sure who they play this week, but they play the Raiders next week.
Lions. They play the Lions.
Well, the Lions this week.
So that should be another loss. So.
Okay, that'll be a very interesting game. Yeah, the Lions, they're high-powered both sides of the ball. So that should be interesting. If they lose, that's why it's a must-win for us. Truly. This early, I know, but with all these injuries, we got to win. So the keys to the game, okay, first and foremost, you got to get to Tua, no matter what, and always going to be involved in this offense, in this defense on Sunday, according to Harbaugh. You got to get to the quarterback. He's not very mobile anymore, so he might run 5 yards here and there, but he's not mobile like Jaden Daniels. So you got to get to him early. Number 2 is contain Devin Achane. He's their guy. And if you stop Achane, they don't have much. Waller's back, yeah. Waddle is still there. I think Waller is more of a threat than Waddle. But Achane is the guy for that offense. So you got to stop him. And then offensively, the biggest key, protect Herbert. I don't know how else to say this. Like, the Dolphins' defense isn't that great. They're not going to, or I shouldn't say that because same thing could be said with Washington. You know,
Yeah,
I shouldn't say they're not going to blitz Herbert. They're going to blitz him. So you got to stop that defense. And running back wise, let's see what happens. I think Vidal will get the carries more so than Haskins, but Haskins needs to be in there for the blocking. So, I see some of the projections. Haskins' projected points are pretty high. I don't see him getting anywhere near that because he's more there for blocking, and maybe a goal line touch here and there. But Vidal is going to be that running back. If we're going to run the ball, it's going to be him. And I want to see Ladd and Keenan and QJ get targeted more. Because last game, I like what I saw with the targets of Ladd. I think, him getting a touchdown was big. And it's funny, the guy above me, he had Ladd for the first touchdown of the game, a bet on that, and it hit and he went crazy. So that was hilarious to see. But Keenan and QJ, both of those guys, need to get more targets. This is a game where you need to spread the ball around, but also feed your main guys. Because you should be able to win this game by more than a touchdown, 10 or more points. But then again, it's like, we should have won last week too. So it all comes down to health, I know. And that's just an excuse because other teams are dealing with injuries too. Look at the Niners. And they're finding ways to win. So we got to find a way to win this game, whether it's by 1, whether it's by 10, I don't care. Just get the win. But those are the keys. I think those are solid keys to the game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree, and I think we need we need to get the quick passing game going, the short passes, just anything to get the ball out, screens, get Vidal involved, like I said, in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I do see Haskins being involved in goal line, when they get to that area. Although Kamani in the preseason, he was pretty good at goal line carries. Yeah. So I'd like to see that too. But yeah, just protect Herbert at all costs, man. You got to get the ball out quick. That's one thing Herbert can do. He needs, he can't go through his progressions like he normally does.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope they move someone else to left tackle. I just can't. I can't with Deculus, man. They need to try Sawyer.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Just move him there. He was okay when he was left tackle before. He's not going to get beat inside like Deculus is, where guys just get free passes to Herbert. So get all the receivers going, like you said. You need to get them all involved because you don't have Hampton now. Hampton's a big loss. He was doing a lot for this offense the last few games.
Yeah, and I think that's the main reason why we lost is because Hampton got out. Because it's like we were doing fine when he was in, and after we scored that 10, we went silent. But he was missing the whole second half, so it's going to be a huge loss. That's why Herbert needs to get these receivers involved early and often. And let's see how much they rely on the run game in these 4 weeks. But this is another test here for the coaching staff is, okay, 4 weeks, you can see what you got with Vidal and Haskins. And if you don't like what you see, you got to tell Ortiz, hey, we need a new running back. Because this is what we were talking about last week. It's like you can't put so much pressure on Hampton because injuries do happen. So call the Saints, see what they want for Alvin Kamara. I think he fits the mold perfectly for this team.
He does, or Breece Hall,
or Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall will be a little bit more expensive, but hey, if we can land them for a longer term deal, do it. Yeah. Have 2 running backs who are young and explosive. It doesn't hurt. If you can afford it, it doesn't hurt. So, and I think Baltimore, they're having a fire sale. So, if they're selling that center over there, take him. He's a big addition if you can get him. But people were thinking we get Mark Andrews. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're okay with Gaston. I think right now we just need to focus on the RB and offensive line. We get those two, we're set.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just offensive line is the hardest to
Yeah,
get a deal for because teams don't want to let those guys go,
I
in
think
what, yeah.
I think the reason why they may let that center go, he's under contract for just one more year. Like his contract expiring after this year, so maybe they don't want him to go to free agency and lose him for nothing, and maybe get a pick instead. You never know. They may, and it may not be to us, but I hope it is. But I mean, they're 1-4 now. The Ravens. They don't have Lamar Jackson for a couple more weeks. You never know.
Yeah, that would be the best case scenario.
Yeah,
You need to upgrade that line any way you can.
yeah,
Add, and people have been saying, this Joe, should have done more with this line. You can look back and say, yeah, we should have drafted a couple more guys, but that hey, that's in the past now. Now you got to move forward. You got to do what you can. And
yeah,
yeah, I'm sure this next draft they're going to be definitely focused on O-line.
yeah. It's funny. Someone had posted the other day, a Chargers fan, the way that the Chargers draft is going to look in 2026, and all rounds are just offensive linemen. I don't know. I think you got to get at least two in the draft next year, but also try for these vets because you need depth too. Because you see what happened with Alt, you see what happened with Becton. You need depth, and Slater, of course. Let's not forget him, who was a huge loss before the season even started. So if we can land a vet potentially through trade, and it's happened in the past, but not often, great. If you can't, okay, at least get an RB who can run like Kamara, a pass catching guy who Herbert can dump off to, like he used Eckler for, and go with the flow after that with Alt back. But I was just looking at the rankings here. The Dolphins are ranked 30th in pass defense. That's nearly dead last. But for receiver defensive ranking, they're ranked 9th, which is interesting. I don't know why they're ranked 9th, how they're ranked 9th for that, but passing wise, they're 30th. And then running wise, they're ranked pretty low too, 29th. So
I wonder if they just give up a lot to the tight end then.
That's what I was thinking. Let me check. Yeah. 27th to tight ends. So that should be a Gaston game then. But even 9th rank, I'm not worried about that. With the receivers that we have, I'm not worried about that. I think what I'm worried about is, yes, QJ was hit hard on that fumble. I hope it doesn't play with his confidence.
Yeah, and I saw him listed as questionable. So
yeah, I think he'll play Sunday, but I just hope it doesn't play with his confidence because he had it going, and I don't want this to mess up anything.
Another funny note with QJ, somebody on social media started, let's yell Q every time he makes a catch, and it sounds like boo, So I'm thinking, like, is this messing with his head?
Yeah, you never know.
Because he knows all the. I'm sure he knows all the hate that he
Yeah.
used to get.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's noticed that it's turning around, this season. But yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah. Another thing is like the draft. If they do draft O-lines, there are a lot of good wide receivers in that class. So if this is a one and done for Keenan, then that's your opportunity to take wide receivers. I know we have Trey Harris and KLS, but as Harbaugh says, more competitors the better. So you could do a lot of things with that draft. It's just a matter of what do you do before the trade deadline this year. I hope they pull the trigger on something here, either Kamara or a center or something, anything. And then we miss Corey Linsley a lot.
Yeah.
Just going back and thinking if this guy was still healthy, it would be such a different story for this team.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a great center.
Yeah.
It makes you miss those days. Definitely when you could count on him there. But yeah, I mean, I lost my train of thought there. But no, I think this game will be really big for the running backs,
Yeah.
Vidal, Haskins, and throw Naheem Hines in there. I think he's going to get a shot too.
Yeah.
He'll be pulled up from the practice squad, and he could be big. He's had big games before being a pass catching back. So let's see what they do with him. I think they're going to see how this game goes, to decide if we want to pull off one of these trades for one of those running backs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I do too. I do too. I think the next 2 weeks at least they're going to test it out because next week is the Colts and they have a tougher rush defense. That's gonna be a very interesting game. So, but I agree. I think this is more of an evaluation time for them, and I think Hines will be a good pass catching back right now. Also, special teams.
Yeah.
I think we need that with Darius Davis out. I don't know if he'll be back on Sunday, but we need him back sooner than later because missing him just shows how much he flips kind of the momentum on our side. And we haven't seen that since he's been out the past 2 weeks. So this is a winnable game, but so was last week. So was the week before. So you can't take it for granted. You got to go. You got to play like they're better than you. Because I feel like when they play against teams like the Broncos, like the Chiefs, who have tough defenses, who have tough offenses, they play better. They play to their level compared to teams like the Giants, where, should have won, but didn't play at your level, played at their level. So you got to play at the Dolphins or higher than the Dolphins level. And also the Tua against Herbert battle, I guess, if that's still a thing. Shut that down once and for all too, Sunday. And I can already hear the excuses, no Tyreek Hill. But shut that down too and get that win.
Yeah, the good news is it's an AFC team. So far, we're undefeated against the AFC. Having a lot of trouble against the NFC.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago we had that situation too, where we were just not beating NFC teams. It's like, do we even have scouts for NFC teams? But yeah, it'll be a good test. I think the guys will be up for it. Didn't seem like they were up for the Giants game, and Commanders. We got that lead, and it seemed like we lost focus too. So they need to really lock in, not get those stupid penalties. Not have 10 men on the field.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. So
and what's surprising is it's a Harbaugh coach team, and making these mistakes. It happens, obviously, but man, you don't expect that to happen.
No, and if this was Staley or some other coach, they'd be getting shredded apart right now. Yeah,
right.
But it does need to be cleaned up. The coaches need to clean up their stuff too. So
yeah. I mean, I hope Roman's not confused on how to, call this game with basically your RB1 and 2 out. This is why we said trade for an RB before it's too late. And the thing is, it's like if the Saints are likely going to trade Kamara, it's just a matter of where they're going to trade him to. Because Kendry Miller is getting more carries every week. They still have Devin Neal, who's a rookie, and he's going to start getting carries for that team. And they're not winning. So it makes no sense to keep Kamara there. I think it comes down to Chargers and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And I know the Chiefs have so many running backs from Pacheco to Brashard Smith to Kareem Hunt, but they still don't have that one guy. So I think, Kamara fits that mold there too. So I hope he comes to Chargers because if he goes to the Chiefs, they're going to be even more stacked.
Yeah, especially with Rice coming back.
Mhm.
Yeah, him and Kamara, that could really boost their offense
Yeah.
the way they
If
need it.
nothing else, take Kamara to not let the Chiefs get him. You know,
Yeah, but he would be big for us too. I
he
mean,
would.
so
He would. He absolutely
yeah,
would. Again, he fits the mold. Like he's just like Eckler. And I think he's even better
yeah.
for this team. You get Hampton back, you get Alt back, and Kamara. I mean, that's a great offense.
That
So
that is that. The only thing is that it doesn't fit what Roman and this team wanted. They wanted to have that power thing with Najee
yeah,
going, and for a little while we saw what that could be, and it looked like, they could really have a great thing with that, but didn't work.
I think Hampton could do that. I think he can do that. That's why it's like, yeah, you can go get a guy like Najee. You can go get David Montgomery if he's available, which I don't think he will be. But I think Hampton can do that. Um, and he can also catch passes. It's just you don't want to overwork him. So that's why Kamara would be perfect for this team.
Yeah, I agree. So subscribe, smash that like button, and let's get that win in Miami.
Yeah.
All right, bolt up.